Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I am so excited to be back here so soon. This is fun. And we are in a different part of my mile-long couch. I have the longest couch, I swear to you. It doesn't even make any sense. So, welcome back to the big comfy couch. Today, I'm gonna take y'all on a ride, and I know I know that sometimes talking about things like creating our own reality, manifesting, makes people feel a little bit, I think it's just polarizing in general because people are on varying journeys with it and varying positions within that thought. So if you're here, obviously you were meant to be here. And I'm really excited to talk about specifically how expectation creates reality. When we talk about manifesting or calling things into fruition, people will often say you have to believe it. But what does that really mean? Because I feel like a lot of us may feel like we're believing something when we're probably more just saying it, but believing something else. And that's where expectation comes in. So if you take time to really notice and think about when we're wanting something, I'm trying to think of what a good example is. If you're catching a flight and you feel like you might miss that flight, out loud, you may be saying, I really hope we don't miss this flight, but I already know it's going to be crazy at that airport. I never make it through that airport, and most likely I will miss my flight. All of those things. Like, if you just take time to notice, you'll see the way that we may say, I hope that I like this food, but you're expecting to not like the food. I hope that I get a good grade on this test, but you're expecting. And that's totally normal. That's totally natural for us as human beings. We are constantly trying to protect ourselves and really trying to prepare ourselves for disappointment, for failure, or for the worst case. Because back when we were in our more primal states of having to survive and of having to predict if a lion was coming from the corner or if, I don't know, a hurricane was about to come and our shelter was going to get thrown away, you needed to have that feeling of preparedness and of anticipating the worst to happen. But as we evolve from those primal beings, we evolve in many ways, emotionally, as a society, technologically, but we also evolve in a way where our threats are different. Our reality is different. The way that we socialize is different. And so it is a part of our natural progression that we are evolving into handling things differently. We no longer have to anticipate the worst. Expect what you want and it will happen. So this is something that most people who know me, or at least people who I am around a lot, know that I am like, one thing I'm gonna manifest is a parking spot. Like if I actually am like, oh, well, we're going to get a parking spot, we always get a parking spot. And of course we do. And it's because I say we're going to find a parking spot and I expect it. And I know to some people, it may sound crazy, the idea of like, we can create our own reality. And if we say it, then it'll be so. But again, it does have to do, it obviously is way more complex than just saying, I hope that a unicorn appears right now. It's obviously more complex than that. But it also is very straightforward in the way that if you set your intention for something and then you expect it, you will create that reality as long as you are aligned with it. So as far as the alignment piece, just still going with the parking spot example, if I say I am not going to worry, like, I know that I have 5 minutes before the movie starts, I know I have 10 minutes before my appointment, but I know I'm going to get a parking spot, so I'm not even worried about it. If I genuinely believe that I'm getting a parking spot and do not spend any more time worrying about it, it will become so. I mean, it's just one of the laws of our universe. And so when we talk about alignment, how you remain aligned is you continue driving. you go there and you go to park and it will become so. And I mean, this has happened. I honestly, I used to tell a lot of the stories of at the time it was law of attraction, or I knew it as law of attraction. It is obviously still the law of attraction, but I'm realizing that it is everyday reality of creating our reality. But I used to tell a lot of those stories, and there have been many more. But specifically with this, I mean, even coffee. I remember when I was first, like, I really just want to prove to myself, I want to really grasp the fact and the idea that, like, our words are very powerful and our expectation is powerful. I literally was like, I'm going to get a free coffee today. And so when we talk about it being complex, there are things that make it easier or less easy to attract or to call these things to fruition. Things like if you truly do believe that it's possible. If you're someone who is saying that you want a parking spot but truly believes that you're not someone to get a parking spot, then you're not going to get a parking spot. If you believe that, okay, the odds of me getting a free coffee is like and a lot of times the where we get hung up on the belief is we don't see how that'll happen. We don't see how Starbucks is just going to randomly be like, you deserve a free coffee today. But that's where we get hung up, because it's not about how. We don't have to worry about how. That's for the universe and the way that our world works and God to figure out. We say what the desires of our heart, and then they come to fruition. We don't have to be the person to orchestrate. And that's why a lot of times people will tell you things have happened for me in ways that I never could have imagined. Of course it did. Of course it did. And finishing up the story about the coffee, I went on about my day. I went to Starbucks and I was waiting in line, and I was waiting, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's taking forever. And I even contemplated getting out of line, but I didn't. And I got up and I ordered my drink at the speaker. And I got up to the window because I didn't know if I was going to get a free coffee today. I didn't know if I was going to get a free coffee tomorrow, but I knew at some point I was expecting. And again, this is when I was in the phase of really trying to prove to myself, is this real? Is this really how the world works? And got up to the window ready to pay just in case. And the lady said, hey, we're so sorry about your wait. It's a free coffee for you. And it's crazy because I literally sent my friend a voice message on that day, and I said, you won't believe what just happened. And the fact that I set the intention. But there's a few things to point out. First of all, the expectation. Okay, so show me it's real. An affirmation that I know a lot of people find very, very helpful, including myself, is, God, show me how good it gets. Show me how much you love me. Universe, show me how good it gets. World, show me how good it gets. Have that expectation. So when we look at that situation of getting coffee, there was the clarity of what I wanted and what my desire was. There was the expectation that maybe this is actually real. I'm going to expect a cup of coffee. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know if it's going to be from my neighbor or from the Starbucks, but I'm expecting it. And then alignment. I went about my day and I was open to it. I'm open. I don't know how, but I'm open to it happening, and I'm expecting. And that's when we come into alignment with the things that we're asking for. And the concept of expectation is the same spirit of the message when someone says, if you're going to worry, don't pray. If you're going to pray, don't worry. Because if you're going to ask for something, but worry about it and expect it not to happen, then don't. Because I mean, that is the law of how this works. Don't ask God. Don't put it out there that you want this desire and then completely put all of your energy and your actual feeling of how you're feeling into worry, into doubt, into fear. And I know, trust me, I know just as much. I know that there are times where our physical body is feeling and screaming doubt and fear and anxiety. but we have to hold the expectation. And I've seen personally how I have had presentations where my physical body was saying, I'm about to shut down. But I said, this is going to go amazingly well. I expect for this to go well. And even as I went into it feeling the way that I did physically, as soon as it started, it went well beyond what I expected it to, beyond what I physically could have imagined it to. Even things as simple as when I'm getting my hair done, and my cousin can attest to this, I feel like we used to have the experience of like getting our hair done, and it was like a 50-50 chance on whether we would like it or not. And I felt like for me, there was a period of time where I felt like I would get my hair done and I would be like, there's gonna be something I don't like about this. Like I would be in the chair, not even done, just like, I already know I'm about to. And once I grasped the concept of expectation and how it literally shapes the experience that I'm gonna have, I started to apply it to any area of my life that I was aware of the ability to apply it to. And I say that because there's still things every day. I mean, again, going back to the belief, I may be super confident in manifesting parking spots. I may be super confident in like things that I feel like I can control, but there are still beliefs inside of me that say, okay, but those bigger things, those things like, how much money I make, depending on the money beliefs that you have, what kind of job I have, how the world treats and views me. You may have beliefs that say you don't have control over that. And so it will be harder for you to even identify that that's something where you're expecting lack. That's why like life is a continuous journey and unfolding and knowing of ourselves and getting to know ourselves. But now that I am aware of that, even things like getting my hair done, I'm telling you guys, when I'm getting my hair done now, I'm in the chair and I still have the thought that's like, I hope I even like this. And I will immediately say, actually, I'm going to love it. I know I'm actually going to love it. I know I'm going to love it. It may sound delusional, but I have ever since genuinely loved my hair. And I know that for some people, they may see that as, okay, you're conditioning yourself to like it. Maybe you actually don't like it, but you're telling yourself you do. Or maybe whether you believe that that is you conditioning yourself to like it, or if it's you genuinely changing the reality and kind of like unfolding the reality as you live it, it doesn't matter, because the fact remains the same that you are experiencing either your heaven or your hell. You're experiencing whatever it is that you projected and expected, whether that's something that's enjoyable or not, and whether that's just because you changed your perspective or because you really did change the fabric of reality. So that is the concept of expectation as it relates to creating our reality and manifesting and bringing things into fruition in our lives. And I want to challenge you to take time to see what expectations you're setting for your life, what expectations you're setting even just daily in each experience. And I know that really sitting down and having those moments, you will realize that a lot of times we are saying that we want one thing, but we are naturally expecting another. And it's not because you're a negative person. It's just because we have been conditioned that way. We are evolving out of that sort of a mindset and that sort of living. And that is a great thing. That's a natural thing for us. Please let me know down below the things that you guys are expecting. What are the things that you're calling into your life? Write it down. Honestly, in every video of mine, feel free to write down the things that you're expecting, to comment, and to put it out into the ether and into the world so that we can all pray and want those things for you too. So I just wanted to share that with you all. I hope that you are grasping the message. I'll talk to you guys next time.